What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with another crazy wall video, and today we're going to be playing Crustle Iron Thorns EX. So Crustle, if you don't know, is a new card from Destined Rivals, one of the ones that I am most excited for with the Mysterious Rock ability, where you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon EX. So it is invincible to pretty much anything with a rule box, which is super nice and shuts down a very large portion of the meta. With the Superb Scissors attack, you do 120 damage, and this attack is not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So for example, if your opponent is playing Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, a Pokemon that does have Shred and can attack Crustle, does not one-shot it, but prevents damage with abilities, we have Shred, we don't care about their ability, we're attacking them too, and we're swinging for weakness, taking KOs. So we are a natural counter to our own counter, which is pretty nice. The other Pokemon is the famous Iron Thorns. You guys know what it does. You get a bunch of Iron Thorns in play, your opponent's deck relies on ability, rule box Pokemon, and initialization just shuts it down quite nicely. And then we also have a couple copies of the Future Booster Energy Cycle, or excuse me, Capsule, to make sure that we're retreating and pivoting between Iron Thorns, since we do have to move energy from an Iron Thorns to one of our bench Pokemon when we use the attack. Now, before I hop into the rest of the list, because there's a bunch of stuff going on, but it's really just to ensure consistency, I do want to mention that we don't play any Ultra Balls, because if we're going for a Crustle route, we are just going to Ascension, if we can't naturally draw into the Crustle needed to evolve a benched Dwebble. But with Ascension, you search for a Crustle that evolves from this Pokemon, and then put it down to evolve. I'm not too pressed about getting an extra attack off, because if we're going in with Crustle, we're assuming that they're not going to attack us anyways, and we're going to live an attack or two, and that we'll be able to survive the turn and just go off Ascension. Not using the Ultra Ball does save a little bit of space, but I could totally understand if someone's like, no, I need to play a TM Evo, maybe I need to play an Ultra Ball or two, you know, it's not the end of the world. It also, like, a lot of times we're up against Badoo item lock, so it's like, hey, you know, if I don't have to use my Ultra Ball and rely on it, I might as well not. Since we are playing Crustle, I am playing 2 copies of Luxurious Cape, which does boost our Crustle up to 250 HP, however, it does make it a 2-pres Pokemon, but if it's an effective wall to win a match, it shouldn't really matter, and it could stop, you know, a random Dusknoir plus a, like, unevolved Pokemon attack play from KOing us completely. Now, for the energy split, we are playing 4 Electric, 4 Grass, 4 Medical Energies, which does heal 30 damage from a Pokemon when we attach it, which sounds ridiculous, and you're probably like, why are we doing this? Well, the answer is Marnie's Grimmsnarl. There's a lot of Gardevoir, there's a lot of Grimmsnarl out in the format, and you know what? Just being able to heal 30, stop them from a good Devo play when we're going in with Crustle, or even Iron Thorns, is pretty nice. And if we're up against Dragapult, well, we got 3 copies of Mist Energy too to shut down any damage counters being swung onto any benched Pokemon that we might want to protect. Now, for our A-Spec, we are playing Poké Vital A. I think this is the first time I've ever showcased it on the channel, so I'm excited. But the goal is really just to full heal a Crustle, or, you know, heal most of the damage off an Iron Thorns, and just make sure that we're able to just stay as annoying for pretty much as long as possible. That's also why we're playing the 1 copy of Penny, is really just to pick up an Iron Thorns, an extra Dwebble, you know, whatever we need. I was thinking about Turo, but I feel like if we're going in with Crustle, we really don't mind if it gets KO'd, because it is pretty easy to set up. It's just a single prize Pokemon unless we have Cape. If I need to recycle a Crustle line, I do have 1 copy of Rod to help out. And I didn't really want to discard any of the energy off the Crustle, you know, with Turo or something like that, so I'm not leaning in with the Turo, but I definitely don't mind a one-of if someone's feeling like, yo, you gotta play Turo. I love it. We're playing Team Rocket's Watchtower to shut down any normal Pokemon in play, such as Noctowl or the Dunsparce. I really don't mind a 3rd copy of this stadium. Coming to actually... You know what? Now that I'm staring at this list, I realize I did build it wrong. Now that it's hitting me, I actually have 3 Future Boost Energy Capsules in here. I was wondering why. Like, when I was making the deck, I dragged one over, and I'm like, where'd it go? It didn't even stack. Well, that's because in this picture, well, there's 2 of them that are stacked, and I grabbed one from a different set. So in the description down below, there will be 3 Watchtowers, or maybe something else if I feel like something else is more useful. But for now, it'll be 3 Watchtowers, because that is the card I definitely wanted to shut down Noctowl in Raging Bull and the Dunsparce in Roaring Moon decks, or really any other rogue deck, like maybe a Mega or something like that. But anyways, moving on, I apologize. We got the 3 Watchtowers. And now for my supporter count, we do have 4 Arven, 4 Iono, 4 Boss, 3 Crispin, 2 Colress. on top of the one Penny mentioned previously. Most of those supporters, with the exception of Boss's Orders, which is there to get us KOs where we want them, are really just there for consistency. Heavy Arven, heavy Iono, and some great Crispin Colress Tenacity combos to make sure we're getting the energy needed so we could keep attacking, but also getting ourselves set up, getting the Techno Radar, Nest Ball, or Buddy-Buddy Poffin down to get evolved, get active, as well as the TM Turbo, Energize, or Luxurious Cape to make sure we're tanky or get extra energy down on a turn if necessary. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the list. Again, I apologize for the like the image here. I don't really have a great way to highlight it, but you know, the 3 Watchtowers, it says 2, and then there's the Future Booster Energy Capsule next to it, and there's the one with the stack of 2 off to the side. Again, that should be 3 Watchtower. The link, not the link, the deck list in the description down below will have the updated copy. I feel like I've done that a couple times recently, so I apologize. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the deck. I think it's got some great matchups. I think from playing, the only matchup that's, like, really bad is Gardevoir, just because they could use Drifloom, Scrimtails, they could kind of get through Crustle. I mean, Iron Thorns could lock them out nicely, or perfectly, if they don't play, like, a Mischievous or a Klefki or something like that. But if they're if they have a Klefki or a Flutter Mane, not Mischievous, excuse me, if they have a Flutter Mane or a Klefki, they could get around the Iron Thorns nicely, and it's kind of like an auto loss. But if they don't, it's kind of like an auto win if you could just get a full Iron Thorns board state. So it's the one matchup to watch out for. But other than that, I feel like a lot of the meta decks right now, we actually counter pretty well. So I don't know, I kind of like this deck. Definitely one of the more fun rogue wall type archetypes. You guys know I'm a longtime fan of Iron Thorns. I've always been a fan of this deck. I've loved Aegislash for the longest time too, and I feel like now we've got a nice stage 1 grass and a stage 2 metal wall Pokemon, you know, to bounce between depending on what's better. And since Crustle is new, I figured, you know what, let's give Homeboy a shout and let's get active. So can't wait to show you guys the video. Hope you guys enjoy. I will see you guys in match number 1. Welcome to match number 1. We're up against Gholdengo EX, which I feel like we could swing this match with Iron Thorns or Crustle. I definitely don't mind the Crustle. I think that might be a little bit more effective for us. And just because they're playing a lot of Gholdengos, they got the Dragapult line. Monkey Dory's a little bit scary, but we got the Ascension turn 1, which is kind of nice. And honestly, I really don't hate a Colress's Tenacity here, just to guarantee me a Grass Energy onto my Dwebble, and we just got to make sure we got 2 Crustles in the deck. I got 2 Dwebbles out over here. I don't need to play the Watchtower. I am going to hold that in case they're playing some stadium that could kind of disrupt us a little bit, so I'm just going to go for the Ascension. We'll take our time setting up. I'm not going to sweat it too much. We're going to do our thing, get out there, get active, and pass it on back over to our opponent. So I feel like a lot of today's video is going to be some quick turns on my end. It's really just, do we have enough energy to attack? If not, get energy. Most of the supporters are like, all right, let's just get evolved, get set up, and then just attack, swing. We really don't need to do much. We just need to see if our opponent has a way to get around us, and that's kind of the nice thing about like wall decks and, you know, cards like Crustle. It takes off not some of the skill, because I think more of the skill in wall archetypes goes into the deck building and understanding your matchups and knowing what you're up against, but it takes off some of the pressure on like, how do I play the perfect turn, you know, what's the right sequencing. When you're playing a deck like this, it's really just like focus on getting set up, attacking as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're going the Crustle route, get evolved more so than anything. If you could do that, it's really just, does your opponent have an out? Now, we're seeing they're playing the Dragapult EX, which is something to keep in mind. Since we're seeing that, I'm going to want to Mist Energy immediately on really both Crustles would be nice, but especially the benched one until we see like a Boss's Orders or something. I like having the medical energies. I don't know if they have a great way to attack us. I guess they could go in with Monkey Dory, which could confuse us, but again, if we could just get a Mist Energy, we kind of shut that down too, so it feels pretty good. And yes, we're in top deck mode, but we play 4 gear, 4 Arven, 4, what do you call it, Iono. We got 3 Crispins. We've got so many supporters. Another Colress would be awesome. We got a bunch of ways to top deck a supporter to get us back out there, back active. And my opponent is just setting up multiple Gholdengos, and they're going to go for the boss quick on a Dwebble. Okay, well, that's annoying. Not the end of the world. I mean, you know, they could make it rain. They could get rid of 2 energy from their hand. They get rid of the Psychic and the Fire. That's actually nuts. I was going to say, you know, maybe attacking with the Dracloak isn't a bad shout, but nope, they're bidding both of those immediately. And we're going to top deck a gear, which could definitely help us feel a little bit better. I think I do want a Techno Radar. This goes to hand, right? When we get 2 future Pokemon. I'm going to get rid of the Electric Energy and just take the Iron Thorns just to thin 2 cards out of the deck before my gear. I'm not going to play the Thorns. I don't really have a value in doing so. I really don't hate Arven. But in all honesty, I think if we could just start going Crispin and setting up, that feels pretty good too. I mean, Arven, what does Arven get me? Arven gets me an item that's not necessarily going to help me or guarantee me anything, and a luxurious cape, which is pretty sweet. Crispin is going to start putting on pressure right now. I'm just going to go Crispin. We got 3 Crispin in the deck. Now there's 2 left. I'll take a grass and an electric energy. It doesn't really matter which one goes to my hand because both are going on Crustle. And we'll see if my opponent has an out to Crustle immediately. Now we are going to be, what, 3-shotting my opponent? Because we'll do 90, then 180, then 270. Yeah, we'll be 3-shotting a Gholdengo, which is unfortunate, but, I mean, hey, you know, they resist us. We don't necessarily have the perfect math. We're not swinging the hardest. We're just trying to make sure we're swinging consistently and getting out there. And you know what I realized is my opponent did get rid of the Psychic Energy, so unless they play another one, they actually might not be attacking with Monkey Dory, which I thought would have kind of been amazing for them. Could have confused us, maybe stopped us from attacking a little bit, put on some pressure if we tried to flip through and flip tails. That could be very relevant. But no, they bin the Psychic Energy early, so forget about Dracloak attacking or getting some damage down with Dragapult EX on a benched Pokemon. They're just going full sends on the Gholdengos in a heavy retreat here. Oh no. And they give me another Gholdengo, but there's no canceling Cologne in this format. You know, there's canceling Cologne in the last format. They're just retreating to get the extra draw. But I have no idea what they want to draw into. They did play their A-Spec, but they did not get a Dark Energy out of it. So either the 1 or 2 Dark Energies they play is prized, because it's not in the discard, or what. I'm not sure. All I know is I feel like, you know, we could do this match with 1 Crustle. I don't mind living in top deck mode. I don't see a way my opponent can attack us for anything I'm super worried about. If they start going in with, like, Bite or something, dog, that is the quickest manual attach medical energy. We're going to stay up, stay active, and I get an Iono, which is sweet. Yeah, I'm not going to play any of those energies, any of the stadiums again. I want to keep the stadiums for if my opponent plays something disruptive. I don't know what it could be, but I really don't want to take any chances. Boss Pokégear, Iron Thorns, kind of nice. Don't think I really need any of those famous last words. So I'm just going to swing for 90 again. We're in a good spot. I'll Pokégear next turn. There's a bunch of supporters that I could really love. I really don't mind getting another Dwebble down and just trying to evolve one more time into Crustle. I just feel a little bit safer with 2 Crustles. If they are able to counter it and go for the immediate boss play, they go for the immediate boss play. There's not much I can do about that. That's fine. You know, what other supporters could be good? I really don't know. Nor do I think I'm sweating it too much. I think, too, if you're looking at other options just to help set up stadium-wise for the deck, and something I was definitely considering between, I can't believe that deck list had the 3rd booster energy capsule when I was switching it over to Limitless to get the base list, was Artisan and Town Store. Now, when I was testing on my first match, I did originally have 1 Town Store, 2 Watchtower in the deck, and it felt very good. I just switched to 3 Watchtower because one of the matches was against Raging Bull, and I'm like, you know, it would have been kind of nice just to shut down the knockdowns a little bit more efficiently. I still won the match. Like, it wasn't that bad, but I was like, yeah, you know, we're playing that little disruptive deck. It's fun on the ladder. It's honestly not a bad local tournament shout, and I could even see this doing pretty well at a higher level tournament with the right matchups, but, I mean, you know, there's definitely a deck I want to test more, play around with. I think there's a lot to say here between these 2 amazing walls, and they're going to go for another switch into a damaged Gholdengo with no energy attached, and they will just ensure that they're drawing everything possible with coin bonuses. Not bad. But yeah, no, I think this deck is pretty respectable power level. I think this might be one of the best Iron Thorns decks we've seen in a while. I think the combo is a little bit better than the Mimikyu variant, which I think was the last time I showcased Iron Thorns. That's kind of how I played it. And I think the reason being is Crustle just has 150 HP, and it's a grass attacker that swings with Shred. Just the combo of all of those things is so nice. And they're going to go for a TM Evo play to get 2 Dracloaks, I'd imagine, down. Maybe another Gholdengo, I'm not sure, but I mean, hey, that's fine. You could draw all the cards you want. I will figure it out somehow with this Crustle. I'm prepared to go Crustle versus the world, man. I mean, this is a matchup that I really don't hate to see, especially with Dragapult in the discard pile. We haven't seen we had 1 superior energy retrieval, but we haven't seen a Rod or Nitrate or anything to bring back the Dragapult EX. So I don't have to worry about that when we get another Crispin. That's a good supporter. If I do get a Dwebble down, and I think Iono is our best show. They did a lot of drawing last turn, a lot of thinning. I don't have another Dwebble or way to get Dwebble in my hand, so I think we just go Iono, play the second one out of 4 in the deck, get myself a new 6, give my opponent a new 5, and see if anything perfect happens here. I don't think so. Although I really don't hate a Mist attached to the active, just in case. I just want to prep for a Monkey Dory Mind Bend or some other shenanigans my opponent has. I'll rock with this. We'll keep it calm, and I'll see if I can top deck something epic next turn. Again, no pressure with this deck. You know, you play it. Your opponent either has a way to deal with Crustle or they don't. Is it a little scary not having a benched Pokemon? Yeah, especially when, you know, we still have 6 prize cards to take. But, you know, when you look at my opponent's bench, it's like, what am I realistically scared of? Am I scared of Monkey Dory that could swing for 60 and now can't even confuse me? Not really. I've got 3 medical energies and I'm one-shotting them. They are multiple shotting me. What would it be? 3-shotting me? I'm one-shotting them. Like, I like that trade. Could they go into a Dracloak, swing for 70? Yeah, alright, that's a little bit scarier. You know, a good medical energy could heal 30. A good Poké Vital could heal a whole lot more. And again, we're one-shotting Dracloak. Goldengos? Sure, I'm not scared of that at all. I will 3-shot all of your Goldengos. I'm not worried about decking out. I'm playing very minimal resources. My opponent has a much deeper draw than me, so I see them decking out well before I do, as well as running out of time well before I do. And if this match ends up being insanely long, there's a chance I might cut up the next couple matches if we find ourselves in a similar spot where it's just me draw, swing, and them doing their thing. Might cut out some of the stuff on their turn, give a quick recap on mine, and then, you know, call it a day from there. But we'll see. We'll see where this match takes us. I just don't want a 6-hour video, and they're going to go picnic basket. Does that stop anything? I do 90 this turn. Actually, yeah, it does. Because they had, what, one... Oh, man. I don't remember. Wait, they do minus 30 each time. We're doing 90. I'm not doing math. I don't care enough. My brain is so off. Just, I guess, a little bit into the personal life right now. I am moving right now. Actually, this week. So I spent the entire morning packing boxes. So my brain is fried. I'm doing this as a little stress reliever, a little break from packing all the boxes. My girlfriend just moved in. We're moving the same complex, but moving to a bigger apartment together. I'm going to get a new office, which will be pretty cool. You know, shared with her, but, you know, I'll have a new little setup for myself. It'll be a little more organized, just my whole desk and everything I'm sitting around, all my cards and everything. So I'm excited. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Different background behind me for the videos and everything. It's not going to be the bedroom like it is now. But yeah, so I apologize if I'm a little cloudy, little all over the place when I'm yapping and stuff. That's why, you know, just a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of moving, but all fun stuff, Now, my opponent has ran themselves dry of every single ability in play. They've drawn an unholy amount of cards, and there is another Psychic Energy. They did take the Fire Energy. Yeah, they did with that Superior Energy Retrieval. But that was last turn, or was that this turn? That was last turn, yeah. So that's at some other point in their deck, part of their deck, whatever. Maybe they drew into it. I mean, Lord knows they had a lot of coin bonus and recon directives. The Dragon Headbutt could be a little pesky, but nothing I'm super scared of, especially when I got 2 medical energy in hand. So I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, keep swinging for 90 damage, and they most definitely would have been KO'd with Picnic Basket. They actually got themselves 20 HP under. Or so it healed that 20 damage. I mean, I know it's 30, but perfectly to give them a 4th turn with this Golden Go. Which, I mean, hey, you want me to 4-shot your Golden Goes? I'll 4-shot your Golden Goes. I am not sweating it too much. We are going to finesse this match. It's just going to be a lot of yapping. So I think from here, I'm just going to kind of take some cuts. Oh, a Turo. Oh, my lord. Okay, we're going to be 12-shotting their Golden Goes, it seems. But that's fine. I mean, hey, waste your resources, waste your energy. You got 17 cards left in the deck. You haven't played any Ionos. You definitely play 1 or 2 of them. And, well, I'll see y'all when it's back on my turn. At long last, they have taken a big attack with Dragon Headbutt, done 70 damage to us, and I think this is the point where I say that was really, really cool. I'm going to Medical Energy to heal 30, and then I'm just going to swing for KO and tell you, hey, you're going to need a little bit more damage than that before you make me sweat a bit. If this deck plays Devo, I mean, they could totally catch me lacking, but we're going to take our first prize card, move on pretty nicely, and that's what I mean. I think after sitting here for a couple minutes and cutting out some time, I might do a little time lapse so you guys could at least see the turn. So we'll see y'all back when their turn is over. Oh, we're back. Sorry. Healing 30 more damage off the Crustle. Just feels pretty good. You know, saves us a little bit of time from the Dragon Headbutt. And we're just going to swing for 90 again. And yeah, I mean, back over to my opponent. We'll see if they do anything interesting. You know, they might go in with another Dracloak attack, which could be a little annoying, but I mean, hey, you know, we can work around that. Sorry, I'm just making a timestamp mark so I know when to end the time lapse when I'm editing. I'm not the best editor. They do have a rescue board on the active, but that's not necessarily going to save them. They do need a manual attached to the active to get the retreat off, but they did also Dracoloak. Put the energy, manual attach onto the Dracoloak. So I am interested to see if they deck out, run out of time, or can actually KO my Crustle in any way. I feel like there's a lot of ways they can lose in the following 7 minutes of their clock on the right side of the screen, but you know, I have no idea where they're taking this. They're going to need at least one more turn to get an energy to retreat this goal to go into Dracoloak. That's not going to guarantee them a KO, and the more turns they give me, the better chance I can find Luxurious Cape, so we'll see. And yeah, I'll see y'all on my turn once more. Okay, and we are back and ready to rumble. We do get another Mist Energy, which isn't necessarily the best top deck at this point, and I think that's okay. They've got 110 HP. Now, we're not affected by any effects on my opponent's active Pokemon, but resistance is not an effect. It would have to say not affected by any effects and weakness or resistance, such as Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. So if you're wondering why we're still taking, you know, the resistance damage into effect, that is an innate ability on the card, I'd imagine, because other cards do specify when it does not get affected by weakness or resistance. This attack only allows us to shred through, you know, abilities, stadiums, tools, items, supporter, I don't know, whatever effect is added on top of the card itself. You know, we can't stop that. My opponent has 0 cards in their deck, so they need to play an Iono this turn, and there it is. Okay, and if they play an Iono, they give me a new 5, which means they could potentially go for a Devo play if they have that after the shot, but we get the Arven off of this, so I can actually take Poké Vital A and what do you call it? Luxurious Cape, just to make sure that I am at tip-top shape. I don't think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna hold on to, oh my god, we get a 3rd medical energy. Do I even, you know what if I pulled out another Dwebble here, right? Like, what if I went Arven? I do need a Luxurious Cape. What if I took another Pokégear? And this turn, I do only have a medical energy in my hand, but you know what? It would be pretty funny. Do I have the Dwebble in the deck? I don't, so I would need to rot it back. Do I do that? I mean, that doesn't really... No, because then I could Ascension. You know what? Actually, we're going to go for the Rod play and see what's going on. I am going to waste a couple energy here, but I think the Dwebble would be pretty funny, and I don't know if there's anything my opponent could really do. Actually, I could Levencia, just because there's an electric energy in the discard pile, and we could actually really use that. So I don't have to waste this medical energy manual attachment to go for Ascension. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to Rod the one Dwebble into the deck. I'm going to go Buddy-Buddy Poffin just to get that guy back here. We have a huge retreat lined up just because, well, I've got so many extra energy down. The medical energy are pretty much useless at this point, so it's not something I really need to do. I am going to cape this guy, though, just in case. It's got the Mist Energy, so it's pretty safe on the bench, and I think I just want to go for the retreat. I'm going to keep the 2 grass, definitely going to get rid of the 2 medical energies, and I'm going to get rid of the electric energy just because my opponent has Levencia in play. I can retreat into Dwebble, and then I can go in with Ascension. I'm not taking a KO on Dracoloak. I know they will be able to kind of finesse another attack with the 70 damage on the new Crustle, but now I have 2 Crussles in play, which makes me feel a little bit safer to close this game out. And actually, hold up one second. I gotta open my door for my cat. I think she's trying to get out. There you go, Happy. Oh. I got a blind cat, so every now and then when the door is closed, makes it a little bit harder for her to find her way around or kind of wedge her way out of the door. But nope, there she goes. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how my opponent responds to this. They definitely have a Dragon Headbutt, and they're going to set up the Monkey Dory now. Okay, yeah, there it is. That's something I was worried about. If I could get Crispin off this Pokégear or top deck, we're so golden. It's not even funny. And we get Boss's Orders, which honestly isn't bad. I'm going to go Pokégear and just pray we see the Crispin, and we do. That's actually great, because I could medical energy as well. So now it does matter which energy we're taking to our hand. We're going to Crispin. We're going to get an electric and a grass energy. We're going to put the electric energy into our hand. Make sure we're attaching the grass energy here. And then we'll also swing down the medical energy on the active as our manual attachment, just so we heal 30 damage, put ourselves down to 40. Does stop us from a Devo KO both ways because of Luxurious Cape, as well as the Crustle now being fully healed. And then we'll go Superb Scissors for 120 damage. Now, my opponent does have Countercatcher in hand, but I don't think I'm really scared of Countercatcher. I think we're just kind of comfortable where we are. We get another Crustle out of the prize cards. I think just having the 2 Crustles at this point is really all I need. If my opponent leaves a Golden Go in the active that's not super damaged, I don't know if I want to boss KO Golden Go EX with 240 damage done to it. Dracloak, which could be a potential threat. Monkey Dory could be a potential threat. There's actually a lot of great boss targets in this situation. Like, I could try to go up 2 prize cards, or up another 2 prize cards by taking Golden Go EX. I could shut down another great attacker with Dracloak, or I could shut down the potential Monkey Dory spam once they find their Dark Energy, assuming it isn't prize, and there's the Superior Energy Retrieval, so they can take back all of their energy. They get rid of Fez, yeah, that's not going to help them at this point, and they get the Fire and Psychic Energy back out of the discard pile. Using their 3rd Energy Retrieval, they attach the Psychic to Monkey Dory. Yeah, they're going for the Adrenal Brain. I'm going to have to flip out of the confusion, but that's fine. Oh, they leave it on the bench. Never mind. I don't have to flip out of the confusion. I just go boss's orders. I think I want to bump their stadium here, because I really don't mind this coming down now. I think the play for us is always boss up Monkey Dory before they can retreat. I don't need to go bossing Golden Go. I need to take out their attacking Pokemon. I'm not very scared of Golden Goes when they can't attack me, because we've got an elite defensive ability. So we'll just take the 1 prize card, but I think ultimately we're at a much better scenario, and we get Arven, which is, oh, Poké Vital's prize. We didn't see it in the last Arven, did we? That's fine. I'll take a Pokégear and Luxurious Cape, and I'll just boost my 2 Crustles up without worry. Now, I get another Electric Energy. Not totally going to help me, but I don't mind attaching it just so it makes it a little bit easier for me to retreat and pivot between 2 Crustles if absolutely necessary. So we'll smack this guy down here. We'll go Luxurious Cape on the active just to make sure I am all beefed up. I did play the Arven, so there's no need to go Pokégear this turn. I can absolutely wait for next turn to do that. And we'll just start putting some heavy pressure on my opponent, and we'll see if they do anything crazy on this turn. It seems they did not, which is fine by me. I think from now on they're going to be playing a lot quicker, and we get another Arven, which isn't really going to help me. I want to see if I can get Boss off this Pokégear. We get Colress Tenacity. You know what? Actually, I really don't mind this at all, because that's 1 more Mist Energy for us. My opponent is getting hammered by the clock at this point, so I'm going to attach the Mist Energy to the active again, just shut down any insane plays. I don't know what my opponent has in store for us. I really don't want to find out, in all honesty. I want to just make sure we're consistently protected with every situation, for every situation. So my opponent's active Pokemon is at threat of getting KO'd this turn. They do have their Psychic Energy in the discard pile. They're going to have to use their 4th and final Superior Energy Retrieval, or a 3rd and potentially final Night Stretcher, if they want that Psychic Energy back, just to attack with Dracloak, which will not KO either Crustle and will get KO'd on the return. So, you know, as we saw in the beginning of the match, I think I made the call out early, this is a matchup that is fine for Crustle. Probably, honestly, now that we're playing through, probably insanely better for Crustle than Iron Thorns. They attach the Fighting Energy to Golden Go, so they can retreat into the fresh Golden Go and make me attack a little bit more, but I don't think that's going to save them, and I'm almost curious if they will deck out or lose by time first. So for now, we're going to draw Boss's orders, and that is going to guarantee me their Dracloak or their last attacking Pokemon. I know I could have taken 2 prize cards there and held it, but I just want to make sure that there's nothing they can do damage with on the board. I'm not scared of losing by leaving Golden Goes in play. I would much rather just take out their Dracloaks and whatnot, and we get our Poké Vital A out of the prize card. So I can heal 150 damage from 1 of my Pokemon, which, I mean, is solid. Honestly, might not even be necessary. They got a Boss's Orders, not going to save them at all this match. Because I got 2 Pokemon threatening to ruin their day. And they're just going to boss up a Crustle, pass it on over to me, and go counter. Yeah, they're just wasting cards. They don't even care what's going on. They honestly might even just deck themselves out this turn just to do it. No, they just pass. Okay. Well, that's fine. If I get Boss's Orders, I was going to say I do win. I could play Iono, and honestly, I think I do, because it puts them closer to decking out, surprisingly. They have 3 cards in their deck, 4 cards in hand. They're drawing 5 cards off the Iono, so by playing Iono here, I'm actually giving them an extra card in their hand, and they'll top deck an extra card on top of that. And I love the Grass Energy attachment here in case we see something like a, what do you call it? Crushing Hammer. the insane one-of in Golden Go. I'm just kidding. No one really plays it. But just in case, you know, they could get rid of the Grass Energy on the active. I wouldn't be able to attack. So we'll attach the second Grass Energy to the active. So there is nothing they can do. And now they have one card left in their deck. They have played one Iono or two. They played one Iono. So there's a chance they do have another Iono. But at this point, playing the Iono or any other card might just guarantee that they're decking out at this point. So it seems we are more likely to win by deck out than anything else at this point in match number 1. We'll see if they have anything crazy in store. I don't think they do. I don't even know if they have more energy to attach. They actually, no, they definitely have some metal energy in their hand. It's most definitely in their hand. We know they play 3 metal energy. I'm pretty sure we've seen it at different points this game, and there is one of them right there. Yeah, I mean, we'll attack on our following turn, and then it doesn't even matter if they retreat. We'll be taking a KO on anything, which means we will win. So my opponent is going to run out the entire clock this match, and it as annoying as that is, I mean, hey, you know what? I respect the hustle to see this game through to the absolute very end. I feel like at this point, you better not hit that concede button. You've made it this far. You have put that clock down so insanely far. You better not touch it. You better leave it. What are you sitting here thinking about? There's nothing you can do against Crustle, man. It is the ultimate wall at this point. I mean, Iron Thorns is there for some matchups. Crustle is there for a whole lot more. And you could kind of see why. There are some matchups where it's like there's nothing you could do about it. They're going to Pokégear. Look at the last card in their deck. And now I think since they played one card, that guarantees that even if they get Iono, there's 4 cards in their hand, 1 card in their deck. Just playing Iono means they draw 5, and they would just lose because of it. So yeah, they're going to take their last 10 seconds here, it seems, to just play cards, kind of hang out, run their clock out. I respect it. Put the Levincia down. That's going to be the last action they do, because my opponent has no more time. It says they conceded. They had no time on the clock. That is going to wrap it up for a very long-winded but a very successful match number 1. We'll see what match number 2 brings us, and if it brings us some quicker success. Welcome to match number 2. We open up with, honestly, a solid hand. We got a Dwebble Energy, a Pokégear to see if we get Crispin, Arven, something like that. I don't know. We'll check. And our opponent is playing Munkidori. So we've got a good out to getting Crustle in play immediately, since we're going second. And if not, I mean, I could play Iono, look for Iron Thorns, if that's what this matchup dictates. I'm just curious to see what my opponent is running. They got plain sleeves, it doesn't give me any hints, and Munkidori is in, I feel like, quite literally every single deck. There's like some variant that plays a Munkidori at this point, so this tells me absolutely nothing, and neither does my opponent sitting there, also doing nothing at the start of their turn. I'm curious, is this the same guy as last turn? There's no way, right? I don't remember the sleeves the Golden Go guy was playing, but they are just going to pass it on over to us. We do draw an Iron Thorns, which is pretty nice, but I don't know if it's going to help us, so I think I'd rather just go Pokégear here. Definitely take the Crispin. Ooh, sorry, there's a little bug that just kind of flew in the way. It scared me. So we're going to go Crispin. I'm going to get the Grass and the Electric Energy attached to the active, just so that when I go Ascension next turn, I will be able to just manual attach, even if it's a medical energy, so be it, an energy to Crustle so I can start attacking, especially on a Pokemon like Munkidori, because Munkidori is a pretty scary Pokemon for this deck. Just the confusion's a little annoying. I mean, the damage isn't great, but it does KO us at some point, and it could attack Crustle, so if I can get rid of it, I would love to. Now, my opponent played the Arven, so I'm curious if their hand was just that dead on their starting turn. They're going to go Buddy-Buddy Poffin TM Evo, and we'll see what they throw down if this is an Iron Thorns match. And it's a Garchomp EX deck. Alright. Now that could be a little bit scary, because Spiritomb exists. And Spiritomb will be a nightmare to work around. But, I mean, I think if we could just limit the damage we put in play, we might even just be able to go for the deck out and not Superb Scissors anything except like Roserades, Spiritombs, and Gabites. But we'll see. I don't want to. They are weak to grass. You know, we could two-shot them pretty nicely, because we'll do 240, puts us over the 400 damage marker. Yeah, you know what? We might be able to KO some good Garchomps. I like the manual attached to the active, and then I think we always just, I could go Boss here and take out a Gabite. And then I hold a Boss next turn to take out a Munkidori. Like, there is a Dark Energy on Munkidori, which is a little scary, but if we could stop my opponent from getting Garchomps in play, what am I scared of? Because, like, I could go Iono and take out Munkidori, but I could take out Munkidori at any point. I think I'd rather use the boss's orders on a Gabite before they could get a bunch of Champions Calls and set up their board. I think that would be much scarier. And if they do something scary this turn, well, I mean, I could just boss up Monkey Dory and tell them to figure that out too. So, you know, this might work. They promote Gabite, so that tells me they definitely have a Garchomp in their hand, and they probably have the Power Bell as well, or Power Band, whatever it is. Puts them at 400 HP. It's going to be annoying to work around. If they get a Gibble down, okay, I was going to say, if they get a Spiritomb, I think we do go boss Spiritomb every chance we can get, but if they don't do anything insane this turn, I really don't mind the boss KO on Monkey Dory, but no, they're going to go Arven. Or excuse me, not Arven, Iono. And they'll say, whatever's in your hand, get it out of here. We're just going to switch up the hand. And I get another boss and a Luxurious Cape, Mist Energy. You know what? All phenomenal cards. They can still get out a Garchomp. If they don't, they're going to need a retreat right now into Gibble. You need to protect that Gabite with absolutely everything you have. And they go Dragon Slice for 40, which is not much damage to scare me yet. Now, Gabite can get boosted by Roserade, but again, I don't think I need to boss up Monkey Dory. The Gabite is the scariest Pokemon my opponent has down. So I think I'd rather attach the Mist Energy to the active. We'll smack a Luxurious Cape down, and I'm just going to swing for KO on their active and hold the boss's orders to take out either the third Gabite if they evolve into it, or the Monkey Dory, which again could be a huge threat. Once they start getting some damage down, they can just keep Adrenabraining the damage on over. It's not something I really want to see. Techno Radar is going to be completely useless, just because, I mean, what is Iron Thorns shutting down? The Garchomp EX. The one Rulebox Pokemon they have in their deck does not have an ability. This deck functions off abilities from the middle evolutions and stage 1s everywhere. So they'll get the new 6 cards. They got the Vessel, so they could go for a Rock Hurl, but Rock Hurl is not the scariest thing in the world, especially if they don't evolve here. They got rid of an Ultra Ball. What? Okay, so you have Arven. Do you go for like Buddy-Buddy Poffin? Do you have another TM Evo? You definitely do. No, you go Night Stretcher Power Band. Okay. I mean, you could, I guess, get a Gabite down again, but that's not going to save you with Power Band because we're swinging for weakness. And taking out a third Gabite, or I guess a second. You know, there's still 2 in the discard pile. They still have 2 in the deck. But taking out a third Gibble, more importantly, I think is the world's best thing for us. You could take out one more Gibble here. No, you take out Roselia. That's fine. You could keep one Roselia on your bench. I'm not too scared of that yet. You needed another Gibble here because I am KOing your active no matter what. You could retreat and give me Roselia. I am going to boss KO your Gabite. No, you go Dragon Slice. Do another 40 damage to us. That is fine by me. Not going to put too much pressure on anything else. I don't need to attach this Mist Energy. That's just kind of a waste. I think we always just go Superb Scissors for KO, taking our third prize card before my opponent has been able to successfully set up. And this is another match where we're just watching Crustle go to town. We've got all 3 Team Rocket's Watchtower in our hand. You know, I guess at some point, maybe an Artisan could be a great shout for one of those Watchtowers too, when you think of a situation like this. They do have the Mind Bend attack, but it's not going to confuse us because we have the Mist Energy. Having 140 damage done to us is a little scary, but, you know, Poké Vital, a little, Poké Vital Medical Energy does save us a lot of stress for now. We're just going to go Superb Scissors, take out another threat on the board, leaving them with 1 Roselia. If my opponent does not get a Pokemon down this turn, they are going to be in some hot water because we are going to walk away with match number 2 with a very clean win against Garchomp EX. They got 6 cards in hand. One of them's the manual attach. They do have the Spike Sting, and they go Iono, putting me down to 2. All right, that's a little scary. My hand wasn't amazing. I guess my hand was mostly dead. But I'm not going to instantly KO them, and I get an Arven with a Dwebble. Oh, this is fine. We go Poké Vital A here every time, putting ourselves back to 10 HP. They did not get another bench Pokemon, so I will do some phenomenal damage to them. And I get a Medical Energy. Oh my gosh. No, this is our Poké Vital turn for sure. So we definitely take this, and honestly, I might even just go Luxurious Cape and just hold on to this. I definitely want to go Poké Vital here and just put myself down to 10 HP. I don't want to bench Dwebble because I don't have enough energy to retreat. I think all I want to do is just Superb Scissors, hold the hand, and see if my opponent can get another benched Pokemon. If they can, I mean, then I guess things could get a little tricky. We would take a KO, but you know, depending on what it is, it could be some. I don't even know what bench Pokemon actually they could put. That scares me. They put another Gibble down. They need a couple turns to evolve it. They go Scoop Up Cyclone for game. They said, I am losing on my turns. You know what? You got to respect that. You got to respect that. We are 2-0 with Crustle. I mean, this thing's a dog. Like, why even play Iron Thorns? Let's just play a 4/4 Crustle deck at this point, because this thing is doing absolutely everything in the first 2 matches. I will see you all on match number 3, and we'll see if we can get a little more value on the other half of our deck, depending what the next matchup is. I will see y'all there. Welcome to match number 3. I don't necessarily open up with the world's most amazing hand. I'm going to take a guess and go, I'm up against Raging Bolt based on the Iron Thorns and the Knockdown, or not Iron Thorns, excuse me, I'm staring at Iron Thorns. Based on the Ditto and the active, the Hoots on the bench, I'm just going to take it a little bit slower in this matchup. Definitely play the Watchtower here to shut down the Ditto ability. Feels very effective, kind of locks them down if they don't have the initial stadium in hand to bump. The Hoots, it really won't matter. It's not their evolving turn, but I'm shutting down the Ditto from becoming a Raging Bolt. And then that is a Crispin away from taking out one of my Dwebbles, and of course they have the stadium bump. That's unfortunate. Oh well, though. I mean, hey, not the end of the world. They got Fan Rotom, so they could get themselves a nice beefed up hand. If they don't have the perfect supporter, though, this Dwebble is staying in the active, which means I can Colress Tenacity for a Grass Energy and another Team Rocket's Watchtower. And then, no, they go Wellspring Ogerpon. Oh my god, wait, do they have KO? No, stop it. That would be insane if they do. I would scream if they have Sparkling Crystal Crispin in hand for game. I mean, I feel like that's pretty much what we have coming based on these last 2 matches. So it doesn't seem to be a Raging Bolt deck. It seems to be a Terra Box deck, which, I mean, I guess it's a little scarier. They got the Psychic Manual attached. They could go Sob, and that's exactly what they're going to do. I'm not too scared of a Sob. I just need to get a couple Crustles down to stop a Torrential Pump. And we're going to get another Pokégear. Now, is there a better supporter to play this turn than Colress's Tenacity? I don't think so, because we guarantee the Watchtower. They would need another Stadium in hand, and then I hold my gears, and I get an energy to go Ascension, protected Dwebble. I think that's kind of just the best way to be. This is my last Stadium in the deck. That's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I'm just kind of guaranteeing my Dwebble, and goes into, what do you call it, a Crustle, and I think that's the most important thing for us. So we'll go Ascension. I will protect my active Crustle. Now, if they do go Torrential Pump, they still can KO my benched Dwebble, which is, I mean, unfortunate, but hey, I mean, I've taken the first 2 matches with pretty much 1 Crustle. Why not take the 3rd one as well? Now, this one is going to be a little harder just because they have more Pokemon they can attack with. Assault Landing is something to worry about. 70 damage is solid for 1 energy. If they need to go Speed Wing with Knockdown, because I believe that's what the attack is called, you know you play too much Pokemon when you know that attack is 2 energy, 60 damage, right? Where's that fan call? What are they doing? When did they use that? This is their first turn, no? No. That's my first turn. This is their first turn. What is it? Speedwing, 2 energy, 60 damage. Yeah, I play this game too much. Alright, they got the Grass Energy. They played the Crispin. So it tells me what the Water Energy is in their hand. Yep, they got the guaranteed KO on Dwebble, which is terrifying. But hey, if that's what we got to deal with. That's what we got to deal with. They can't go Knockdown or anything because there is a Team Rocket's Watchtower in play, shutting down their Hoots. From getting the Jewel Seekers from the Knockdown, getting them the perfect trainer cards to deal with everything. And oh my god, they literally have the world's most insane bench. And they're just going to go Sob, leaving my Dwebble in the active another turn. Trust me, I did not plan on retreating at all. I just want to see if I can go Crisp. Oh, a Cape here feels awesome. Actually, Cape on Dwebble feels amazing, just because then Torrential Pump can't KO it. I'm going to see, I get a boss out of the first Pokégear, so I got 3 boss's orders in my hand. Can I get a Crispin to allow me to attack? No, I get an Arven. Okay. I mean, a 1-of switch would have felt great here, but I still wouldn't have guaranteed myself an attack. I think off this, we always go Pokégear and maybe even Turbo Energize. Just get some extra energy down on the bench Dwebble. That doesn't feel bad, right? Because then I could cape it just to protect it from a Torrential Pump. Go TM Turbo Energize because I'm not attacking anyways. And then hopefully off this Pokégear, I could get a Crispin to set up my active. Or, you know what, we'll get 1 Grass Energy on this guy in case I can evolve it before they go some sort of insane play. But if I get Crispin, I can set up my active, start attacking. If I get Iono, I can hopefully draw myself into a new hand and get a Crustle out, and then I'd have 2 Crustles. And with 2 Crustles, I feel much, much safer into this match. There is a lot more threats in this deck than I feel like other decks to deal with Crustle. Iron Thorns could be great in the late game too. You know, if we could set one up, there's a lot of ability Pokemon they might have in play. And no, they're just going to go with the quick concede. They are not trying to work around this insane Watchtower Crustle lock. They're just calling it there. And I feel like these matches got progressively shorter as they went on. And all we did was abuse our opponent with Crustle. which I think is exactly what y'all wanted to see if you clicked on the video. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. With that being said, stay epic. Peace.